You're right guys, this is minutes to make. It only takes a few minutes to make something great, and don't let anyone tell you any different. In this one, I'm going to be making an LED light up sign, both using a laser engraver and also by hand using a rotary tool. Let's get right into it. So for the first example, I'm going to be using the laser engraver. I'm using 4mm Perspex. This is cast Perspex, which I believe is meant to be the best for etching to make it look frosted and stuff like that. And this fits into the LED base. I've removed the protective cover off the top because the laser kind of melts it, but I've left it on the back just to prevent it from being scratched. So I can put it on the bed. I've got it all levelled so it'll all be in focus to the laser. I can get it all lined up and start etching. Now I know not everyone has got a laser engraver, so here's a different way to do it. Use a rotary tool and print off your template onto some self-adhesive paper, and preferably save yourself some nails so you can peel away the template. Stick it on. I did think about putting the design underneath the clear Perspex and then tracing on the top, but I was thinking the pen's probably going to rub off, so I thought keep it simple, put a sticker on it. Right, so I've got my outline that I need to cut out. I'm actually going to probably use the bandsaw to cut it out, but you could use a coping saw. And all I want to do now with the rotary tool is just etch away all the material that I want to be able to glow on the LED sign. On this one, it's kind of like a light faded grey, but I've got a darker outline to be able to follow. The rotary bit that I'm using is just one of the standard bits that kind of come with those kits. It's a conical shape. It should work great for this. Anything on Perspex should work pretty well, so let's see how we get on. Now of course the freeform lines lend themselves to being able to go off the line and making it all wobbly, and especially for a pumpkin it kind of adds to the effect. Now you're probably going to be thinking it's going to be really tricky to do the text. You know the rough shape of the letters already, so the kind of outline is just a guide. If you go over, it doesn't matter. The best thing to do is carry on with the line and make it join back up gradually. If you quickly stop and then try to get back on right away, that's when you get the sharp edges and it doesn't look right. As soon as this template's removed, the way it's etched is the way it's supposed to be etched. No one will ever know. So any little mistakes, don't worry about it. Just crack on. And again now back onto these leaves at the bottom. The outline is just the guide. It doesn't matter if I go off on these because them leaves. So this is where I can power through it really quick and not be too stressed out about going outside of the lines. And that appears to be the etching done now. So what I need to do is I need to cut it out, so I need to leave the template on because obviously I've got my outline that I need to cut. But then when I've got it cut out, I can peel off the template and check if there's any areas that I've missed and if there's any areas that need cleaning up. So yeah, the bandsaw doesn't like this Perspex very much. It started exploding on me, so just to get it done, I've whipped it off nice and smooth on the edges. This will do. At least we'll be able to compare between how the etching looks doing it by hand with the rotary tool and using a laser engraver. So as you can see, I've removed the backing and I've removed the paper template as well. It wasn't very easy to do. So I'd recommend if you put the paper template on top of the existing protective cover that comes on the Perspex. It'll peel off much easier that way. So as you can see, a little bit blotchy, not all the patches evenly etched. So now I can go back over with the rotary tool again and I can just clean it all up and make them more defined so they'll actually show up a lot better with the LED lights. So with the rotary etching all done, all cleaned up, well, as best as I can do it, let's compare this to the one done on the laser. Just a little bit of a difference, but I think you can see clearly that the laser is obviously far superior. The way that it frosts the perspex, I don't think it can be beat. Another way that you could go about doing it by hand, kind of, would be to use like a vinyl template and then sandblast it, or use an etching cream, and it would probably get closer to this result. And of course the vinyl template would make the edges much crisper. But the main draw of these LED signs is how they show up with the LED light. You don't really spend much time looking at them when they're like this without the LEDs on. So let's compare them like that. Now the LED light bases that I've used, I got them off Amazon. I will leave an affiliate link down in the description, so if you decide to buy one, I'll get like a small percentage back, and it really does help everything I do on the channel. So I really appreciate it if you did want to pick one up. So the LED light base is switched on, and first let's try the laser etching. Let's see how that looks. As you can see, it shows up really well. Got a nice crisp edge. Of course it shows up really well, and that would look great in your window. So now let's compare it to the rotary hand etched version. This is what I mean, it still shows up really well. Of course the edges are much less crisp and it looks a lot more blotchy, but you get the same effect. The etched areas still show up and it will still look great in your window on Halloween. And of course you can do all kinds of different designs with this, so don't feel by any means that you have to have a laser engraver to get an effect like this. So that's it then guys. I hope you can see that while there's quite a bit of a difference between using the laser engraver and doing it by hand with a rotary tool, when they're lit up they still do the same job. So if you haven't got a laser engraver at all, don't think that you can't do this project. Give it a go, it still turns out great, and it's one of those projects that's brilliant to get the kids involved with. So get them involved, get them coming up with their own designs. You can do all sorts, have a laugh with it, have a play about. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. I want to say a massive thank you as always to my Patreon supporters, them all listed down there below. Can't thank you enough guys, honestly, it means a hell of a lot to me and it goes a long way to helping everything I do on the channel. And if you're interested, over there somewhere there should be the Average Can Be Extraordinary t-shirts. Them on Teespring, go and check them out. If you want to pick one up, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching and I'll catch you on the next one.